Hi friends, it's me, Karen Valentine. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to keep working on and hopefully finish this Hummingbird page from the Ken Matsuda coloring book. And you can get that on Amazon Japan. So after the camera shut off the last time we were here, I was looking at him and realized that I had kind of cut off his wing by coloring all of this dark blue and just started it here. So I wanted his brown wing to kind of continue up into his body up here. So I just took the same dark umber color and I just kind of colored that in right there to extend that wing up into the body. And I like the way that looks a lot better. So that is what I did. So I did pull out a few colors to work on this branch. And we also need to do some of these little fiddly bits here. But I think I'm going to just dig in and start working on that branch. Now, in Ken's original, his coloring of his bird was all yellows and oranges in here. And so to do the branch in full-on green really worked for him. I am not going to do that because I want to make sure that that branch contrasts more with our bird. So I'm just going to kind of start and we'll see where it takes us. Did I pull out enough dark browns? Maybe. Okay, I think I want to lay down some of the moss first. Just so that sorry, I'm getting everything's a little tangled up right here. Okay, get my, okay, sorry, that was, I try and do my sharpening underneath the table, because if I did it on top of the table like I normally would do, it would be so loud on the video that it would shock you guys. It would be like, so, all right. So I'm going to start with Pale Sage. Let's zoom in a little bit. And we're just going to just go. So I'm doing, and I don't know if this is going to make any difference, but I'm doing little flicky marks. And that's kind of, I don't know, just because. That might be too, that was moss green. That might be a little bit too dark and browny colored. So let's try, what is this? Algae green, which is Kelp Green, right? 1090? Yes, Kelp Green. This one I need to sharpen too. I'm not feeling very like on the ball right now. Okay. Do I like that any better? I feel, I mean, yeah, but some moss is really bright and pretty, so I don't, this is a Limepeel. I don't think I want to do the Chartreuse because I want to reserve that just for our hummingbird. So maybe we'll just keep going with, this is Pale Sage again. I don't know if that, and Kelp Green. I always make editing for myself a nightmare when I keep switching off from one color to the next, but okay, that was Pale Sage. This is Kelp Green again. I like the way that, I can't tell if that glare that I've got is, that's better, I think, at least for me, at least I can see. Okay, let's do some moss. So Pale Sage. Kelp Green. I do like using the little flicky motions here because it seems like it gives it that mossy, organic feel. Let's do a little Limepeel. And do I want to get it? I think I'm going to pull some of this Pale Sage off the branch just to make it even a little fluffier. Okay, then we've got some moss here. So back to that Pale Sage. Moss, not moss, Kelp Green. Limepeel. All right, I like that. Let's try some branch. Let's see how that goes. I need a light highlighty color though, so let's try Seashell Pink maybe. I know that's a funny name for that color because it doesn't seem very pink to me, but or Peach Beige. Which one? Let's do Peach Beige. Okay. So we'll put a little bit of this Peach Beige up here. Sandbar Brown. Peach Beige, Sandbar Brown. I'm going pretty lightly right now because I'm not sure Not sure where I'm going to go with this. Peach beige. I know I'm going to add a much darker color, but I also might be able to darken this more just using the Sandbar Brown too. We've got to come in and work on his feet. I chose Sandbar Brown because it's kind of a cooler brown, more so than the warm dark umber and espresso. And I wanted to make sure that the branch looked very different from his tail and wing. But I think I'm going to have to add in one of those colors anyway. Because he's just, that branch is just not dark enough for me. I could do sepia, because sepia is less red. Maybe we try sepia instead of espresso. Some of these pencils are getting really, really short. Well, I shouldn't say really, really short. Shorter than how I like to use them. And this darn pencil extender will not tighten down. No. Okay. All right, so sepia. I think that might be a good color. There's also some areas here that are kind of fuzzy that I think maybe should have some green. So this is Kelp Green. And let's do some, now that I'm seeing it, I want to get some mossy right here. Hopefully it won't blend too much into the Hummingbird. It kind of is. Chartreuse, not Chartreuse. I'm having a hard time with colors today. All right, let's go back to Sandbar Brown. I still don't know how I'm going to handle this branch. I guess I better figure that out as we're getting closer and closer to the edge. I gotta figure that out. Okay. I could just kind of give it a organic, maybe that's what I do. All right, so let's just give it kind of a organic, end like that. Well, that'll work for me. I just didn't want it to be straight across. So I added it a little bit further than what the artist did, and I think that'll be just fine. So for right now, I'm just going to kind of fill in lightly with the Sandbar Brown. Okay. Sepia. Do some peach beige. Maybe some more sepia. Oh, that's espresso. Thought that looked a little bit red. I don't mind it so much though. It's adding another layer of different color in here. Let's try that. Sepia. I'm going to blend this a little bit. Black. Some black right under here. Okay. Let's keep going. Put a little bit of black just right under his feathers. Maybe it was too much. Sepia. I think that's okay. Okay, are we still in frame? Yes, we are. Okay. I do a little bit of peach beige right there. Sandbar Brown. Okay. Sepia. Alright. Curious what happens if I add white in the light areas. Looks okay. Not bad. It doesn't do a whole lot, but okay, I think I need a little bit more Sandbar Brown right here. And I'm not sure if I want more, if I still want more black. Maybe I will take my Prismacolor Thin, because I think what's happening is my line there was looking a little bit too fuzzy. So that sharpened up that little edge right there a little better. Oh, we've got branch down here too. So let's use Sandbar Brown. And I think that's good enough, because I think the shading that Ken has in there is giving us enough dark. I really still want to make sure that it feels different than the branch. So I just noticed there's a little area right there. I need to pull out my dark umber. This area right there that I'm pretty sure is part of his tail. So I just want to fill that in with the dark umber, which is what we used on the tail and the wing. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring that up in here too, because I still feel like that tealy color that I did was just a little bit too bright. Okay, now we'll go ahead and do the leaves, but now I'm looking, and this happens to me all the time, where I don't color areas that I think I should have. So it looks to me like, I wonder if I should I'm going to just pull up Ken's picture here because I can't. Yeah, I think that's right. So I think the end of the leaf is right here. And so I think that this is part of the tail feather. So that would be dark umber again. That would bring that in here. And I'm gonna put it on this little bit here, but I want to keep that light, so I'm going to add white to it. Okay, so I think that's more like what the what that should look like for that leaf. Okay. Before we move on to the rest of the branch and the flowers, I want to get his feet done. So bird feet, I think, I don't even know what hummingbird feet look like. Now that I think about it, how many times have we actually seen hummingbird feet? I'm trying to see in these pictures, and a lot of them are black, and I kind of like the idea of doing black because it'll pull some of the color from up above down below. So let's do those feet in black. I'm adding some white so that we have some gray highlight. And I'm not pressing down very hard yet until I kind of figure out if this is going to look right. I think I need to sharpen my pencil. Okay. One of the hard things about doing things in black, at least for me, is trying to keep it from looking like just one big blob of dark, which can really happen when you're using all black. You really got to get those grays in there to keep that from happening. All right, I'm going to leave it like that. So more black down here. I think I already put the white in. It doesn't feel like it though. This is hard. All right, this is one of those times when my Prismacolor colorless blender comes in really handy because you can get it sharpened to such a nice sharp point. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it. I wanted to be able to have a little bit of shiny highlight on the. I don't think that's good. I guess that's not too bad. We'll go with that. It's it is what it is. Okay, let me zoom out before I get too crazy. All right, I tried really, really hard to figure out what the kind of flowers those were. And I could just not figure it out. So then it came down to deciding what kind of colors I wanted to do. And so I think we'll do something like this. And I think we'll go with that because it was just, there were no examples of any kind of flower that looked even remotely like that. And sometimes I'll actually write to the artist and ask, but I wasn't going to do that this time. So we'll just do it. All right, I want to do this leaf first. So I'm going to start with, what am I going to start with? I'm going to start with gray green light. I'm just going to put a little bit of that down. Kind of randomly, I guess. This is Limepeel, which I think I'm going to use, but then we'll come in with another color too. Sometimes leaves are hard for me. All right, let's use olive green. Okay, what do I want to do? I want to do some brown, and I think I want to do some yellow ochre. And part of me feels like adding some dark green. I have no idea what this is going to look like, but dark green is kind of a, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a bluey green. I don't know. We're going to put it on here and we're going to see what happens. When I say a bluey green, I mean that because it's not a really yellow green like olive green is. That's good. I like that. And my terminology, my reference to the fact that it's a bluey green might be completely incorrect. But that's what the way I think of it. It's what do I want? I want brown. I want espresso. Espresso. gray green light. Moss green underneath the leaf right here. And actually, I might even like that. I think I like that. There's a lot of green going on here. So wonder if we add a little bit of the chartreuse after all, because it's really good at brightening up some color. I think I'm just going to go with that. This is moss. I think that'll be okay. I mean, my only other option to kind of make it stand out is to add some more. All right, I want to try one more thing. Some more bluish tones. And I'm not seeing I'm not seeing the colors that I want here. Let's try this one. I don't know if this is going to work. This is Jade Green. I might have gotten too much color on here already. So I like that. I like that. Okay. Well, since we're doing it, we might as well keep going and do the other leaves. if I can remember how I did this, we'll get them to look kind of the same. All right, let's do a little bit of gray-green light. Am I in frame? Yes, I am. Then what did we do? Then we used a little bit of Limepeel. Going really lightly, just, I mean, not super light, but pretty light. Okay, then I think we used, I don't remember. Okay, let's do some Kelp Green. I don't know. I think I used dark green too. I mean, I definitely did. I just don't remember what order. So I'll just, we don't want the leaves to look exactly the same anyway, right? Yeah, that's, let's just do a little bit more. Okay. I think I used olive. What the heck? Let's just throw every green pencil that we have at this thing. Why not? dark green. Dark green. Well, I'm going to put some of this Jade Green in here now. A little bit of yellow ochre. And let's got this little, I feel like that's too light right there. So I'm going to take some moss green. We haven't used that one yet. And then the Chartreuse to brighten everything up. I think I'm going to add a little bit more dark green. And Espresso. I didn't put any white down first for highlights, which, whatever, I forgot, but I think it looks okay. Oh, we still have one more over here. Okay, those darn leaves. Okay, let's start with gray, green, light. Guess that would have been my version of white for that. Okay, olive green. Let's just do some olive green. And some dark green. And some moss green. And some chartreuse. And some espresso. Okay. All right, let's work on the flowers. I think we can work on the flowers now. So I think I'm going to pull out Canary Yellow, Deco Yellow. Oh, I didn't even think about the reds or the pinks that I want to use. Let's zoom out. Okay. So I don't want to use the exact colors, but I want to use a complement, like something that looks good with it. So the magenta might be too dark, but once we add some white, it might turn it a little bit more pink. I mean, if you guys could see, I mean, that's the inspo photo, and like, really, it looks like it's really bright, but that's what we used here, and I don't think I want to do that. So I need to make up my mind. I'm going to pull out hot pink and magenta, and we'll go from there. I think hot pink and magenta. And yellows. Don't need that anymore. And we'll zoom back. Okay. Just so I don't forget, I'm going to take this Chartreuse and I'm going to put that in the very center. And we need also to probably come up here and get these stems in as well. And then I think I'll use moss green instead of brown. Or maybe I'll use moss green in addition to brown. Sepia. Yeah. Okay. So let's start with Canary Yellow. I hope I like this. Then we'll go hot pink. And typically I would put the darker color to the inside, but the photo of this flower has the darker color around the outside. And really, it's not even the same kind of flower, so I don't even know why I'm using it. I can do whatever I want. Let's add some more yellow. This time we'll use Deco Yellow. olive green. This is Canary Yellow. Oh. I turned that flower petal orange instead of pink, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Espresso. Or do I want to pull out light umber instead? I think I do. I don't want to go too dark too fast. So I can just put a little bit of this light umber. The problem for me is because I like to color with realism. Even when I'm coloring fantasy, I still like to know what it is that I'm coloring. If I don't know what it is, I'm lost. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. I feel like I'm doing it wrong, which is dumb. But now I have to decide if that's the whole direction that I want to go with these flowers, because part of me feels like it's too close to that, and maybe we should have some kind of contrast or difference or something. So maybe I add some purple. I don't know. Now is when I feel like I should just shut off the camera, figure out what it is I want to do, and then come back to you. But, you know, this is real life coloring. This is how it goes when I'm working on a project. So, all right, I pulled out Dahlia Purple. I don't know if I'm going to like it, because if I remember right, this paper, and I do remember, this paper does not like taking an eraser. So if I do this and I don't like it, it's too bad, so sad. So I'm thinking that we're going to wind up using this Dahlia Purple instead of a pink, maybe. All right, I'm going to leave it alone because it's bugging me a little bit. It's not exactly what I wanted, but if we keep going and we do the rest of them, I might be happier. I'm going to put down some little bit of white in some areas. White, when I put white down on white paper, for me, it just kind of acts as a resist, so that when I lay the other colors down, There's always going to be that white. And it won't stay white, but it will be lighter than the rest. Okay, so Canary Yellow. I have to just keep telling myself these are make-believe flowers, even if they're not, since I don't know what I'm doing. All right, Dahlia Purple. This is the Deco Yellow. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I'll add a little bit more. And I'm still thinking that I want to add some more pink. I can't make up my mind. All right, this is the hot pink, but maybe I should be doing magenta instead. You know that feeling of elation when your page is coming out and what you're working on, you're really, really happy with? You know how good that makes you feel? That's not what I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling the opposite of that. Like, I am struggling with these flowers. Now I feel like it's too purple. This sucks. Okay. How many more of these flowers do I have to go? Oh, geez Louise. A lot. Okay. All right. Well, we'll just keep going. This is the olive green. That chartreuse that I put down just didn't do it for me. This is Espresso. Well, I will probably like it better. This is still Espresso. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I felt the urge. I know you think I'm weird for adding that, but I'll probably feel better after we get it all done. And the flowers are not the only thing that I'm concentrating on. So let's just keep going. Okay, that was Canary Yellow. But now I'm feeling like I want to... Jeez Louise. This is stupid. I'm going to put the pink back down again. Maybe we'll just do all of them where they're just slightly different. There's the pink. I'm gonna add magenta. And Dahlia Purple. I colored outside the lines. Okay, and then Dahlia Purple. And a little more Canary Yellow. Olive green. And espresso. White. I think it's just because they're really, really bright, and I am not used to doing really, really bright colors. So I think that's where my struggle is. So I need to just let it go. Oh, you know what? That looks like the back of the flower, so I don't think I want to put yellow right there. That's the back of the flower. Okay. Hot pink. See what happens when you just let things go? Then you just like do it and say, hey, whatever, however it turns out, it turns out. It becomes much more fun. Oh, I already did put white there. There. Alrighty, magenta. People walking across the street. Dahlia Purple. What's the matter, Cove? It'll be okay. Can see right here we need a little stem with Limepeel, and we'll take our Deco Yellow, a little blending. I don't know, I think I'll take some more Magenta. Just want to see if I don't add more pencil and I just blend, if I'll like that. I think I will. Yep. I'm going to zoom out. Now I'm just kind of sitting here and I'm contemplating. Oh, because I'm not, I'm not happy. Part of me wants to come in and add yellow all over everything and make it more orange. I say part of me a lot, don't I? I listen to myself when I'm doing my editing and I go, geez, Karen, how many times can you say that? We're very critical of ourselves, aren't we? Okay, I like that better. I like it a lot better, actually. So that's a good thing. But I still feel like I want to add some brown in here. I don't know why. It feels so bright to me. I think that's just... just my problem. Okay. I'm going to take my Posca pen. Coop, come lay down. You don't need to be out there barking at everything. Okay, I like that. I like that. Alrighty. I want to add some espresso right in here. And some lime, more lime peel right in here. And okay. So we have this leaf to do right here. So I'm just going to put some, let's see, do I want, I think I want pale sage. And olive green. And jade green. Chartreuse. And light umber. And maybe this is dark green. And espresso. Okay, now we have to do all of these little ones. And I think I'm not going to worry about making them really detailed. So gray, green, light in the middle. And olive green, I think. About a little bit of Deco yellow. Okay, this flower, these flowers, I'm gonna make those yellow. And these all of these. That's what happens when you push too hard. Get carried away. Okay, a little bit of, I could probably use a fine liner for a lot of that stuff. I'm just going to use lime peel for these leaves. And lime peel for these. And then we have to figure out what color we're going to do these little mushrooms. I think I want them brown. I think I want them brown. So maybe light umber. A bit of white on top. Light umber. Having a case of I'm having a case of too much color. I know, it's silly. Okay, so now it's just kind of I'm filling in all the, taking care of all the little areas that a lot of little fiddly bits. Okay, this is Espresso. We're just gonna go right under. All right, I think that's it. Maybe. Do that little shading. Okay, let me zoom out. One more. Here we go. All right, so that is where we are at. Looks like I got a little bit of smudge of something right there, but we'll take care of that with the background. So I'm going to check the time and figure out what I want to do on the background, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we can do the background and then we will be finished. Now, I tested out a bunch of different things of trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I managed to get crap all over my paper. I don't even, we won't even go into how frustrated I am about that, but we're just going to let it go and we're going to pretend like it never happened. So, I have decided that, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to use, my Distress inks. I don't have a ton of them, but I do have a few, and these brushes that I got recently work really beautifully with them. So I wanted to do something. I thought about doing color, and then I thought that I wanted to let the vibrancy of the bird and the flowers stand alone. So I decided not to do a colorful background. So we're going to do kind of a muted background. So I'm going to use Scattered Straw and Vintage Photo because that's what I have. And it seems to work pretty well. So I'm going to probably use some smaller brushes, I think. So I'm going to start with the Scattered Straw, and I'm going to cross my fingers. I think it'll work. I used the back page to kind of test out some of the inks, and they went on there pretty smoothly. So I think we're safe. I think we're safe to use. So I just kind of pull it right off of the pad. I'm going to start lightly because I don't know, I'm still kind of learning about what these brushes do. Okay, so there we go. That's not bad. And these brushes do a really nice job. Why does that feel wet? Oh, because well, that's interesting. That seems to have pulled some of the pink because my brush is still kind of wet because I cleaned it. Okay. But here's the question. At least it's my question. Why did that pull color out of that flower? That is just that's not a good thing. That's not normal. I don't know what that is all about. So I'm going to try and, I thought I dried these brushes pretty well, but all right, let's try this again. That's just weird that it pulled that color out of there. I don't know what to say about that. I really don't. Unless there was some pink color on the brush and it's just a coincidence. I suppose that's possible. So what I do like about the Distress inks, not necessarily over the Gelatos, which you guys know I love, but in addition, like as another tool, is that they're much more sheer. And so if you want a really sheer look to your background, these are great for that. And also these brushes have a tendency to, even with my Gelatos, put the color on in a little more sheer manner so that it's nice to be able to have a couple of different looks. Yeah, see, I got gunk all over it. You gotta be really careful, and I was not careful apparently, so. Okay, so my guess is that that brush just maybe had a teeny little bit of the pink that I used, and that is why we got some pink going on right there, which it is what it is. So I'm using this little brush to get into these little areas, which is really nice. Okay, so that bugs me. I would not have wanted that color on here. But it is what it is. So I'm gonna add some more in here. Okay, now we could leave it just like this. Whose channel are you watching? That's not gonna happen. Oh, well, I'm just finding all kinds of junk that I that should not be. Don't ever use a Kleenex out of your trash unless you know that it's clean, because man, that could have been a real disaster. I used a Kleenex that I had. I'm just gonna test and make sure that none of that. I had cleaned up some product with, and it just got all over everything, but thankfully not all over my page. Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to do about this. That is not where I wanted to go with this page. But I'm not going to get upset yet because I did plan on adding some of this darker distress ink into the page. So I just want to make sure that there's nothing on this brush. Okay, so I am going to use this vintage photo. And maybe when I add that, it will camouflage that pinky color that I did not want in here. So the distress inks, I don't know if I like it. The distress inks move really well on this paper. Well, you guys, I'm sure you've done that before too, where you've done a page and you're like, I wish I hadn't have done that. That does happen occasionally. But the more I put on here, the less I dislike it. So, yeah, because I really just wanted those colors to stand on their own. So, okay, now down here, this is not blending very well. Oh, I probably just didn't have enough ink on there. Like, truly, this is the first time that I've used distress inks on a coloring page. So there's bound to be some user error. Okay, now I wonder if, I'm just wondering if I use, hang in there with me, if I use some, I have another one somewhere. Oh, is that it? No. Nope. I have another one called, not Scattered Straw. Guess I could turn the camera off for this, but there it is. Okay, so I have this antique linen, and it's really, really light. I don't think it's gonna like show up with color, at least not the way I would expect. But I'm wondering if that will work for blending out some of this. Not really. We could probably blend it with some, we could definitely get an interesting look if we spritzed it with water, because we know that I think I'm going to go back to the scattered straw. Maybe I might wind up having to go over this with some colored pencil. Maybe even to deepen the color so it doesn't look quite so orangey. Back to the vintage photo. doesn't seem to change the color of the colored pencil underneath too much, so that's a good thing. All right, so now the question is, do we spritz with water? I kind of like it. Part of me likes it, and part of me feels like the it's a little bit too orange. But I'm wondering if I wonder if I do some brown gelatos. I've got a cool tutorial that I want to do next for you using gelatos and doing a really dark background, kind of like an old, so that it looks like an old oil painting background. Sorry, I'm just kind of getting some stuff out of the way here so I can think, because I just don't know what to do. I don't dislike the page, but part of me feels like I want something else. And the thing that stinks about that is that if I start it, there's no going back. I wonder what the, oh gosh, I don't know. Okay, well, no pain, no gain. So, this is, there we go. Okay, so we have iced chai, which is not quite as orange as that antique photo color. Oh, it was pretty close though. And then I have peppercorn. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, I've got some small, all right, so this is the small brush. Oh, this is scary. Hang on, I'm just gonna come over here to this back page. I don't have any of that as a test. Okay. Definitely, these brushes definitely don't smooth, to me, they don't smooth the color around as well as the stencil brushes. I almost feel like they're too soft. So I might not do that. I might use the... Okay, if I ruin the page, if I ruin the page, I'm sorry. So really all it's doing is making it a little bit darker right where we put this. I don't know, guys. I might be ruining this. I might be ruining this page. This is the iced chai. by the time I finish adding, I'm going to be like, dang, I just added too much. Okay. Oh, I don't like it. So, how do we fix the problem? This is what I should have used to start with. The iced chai on top and not use that peppercorn. But I don't think I can get rid of it. I'm afraid to erase because this paper just does not, it just does not like to be erased. The page is not terrible. It's just not, it wound up going off in a direction that I was not planning. Okay. So trying to figure out what to do about that right there, because that right there is kind of the only thing that I really don't like, and that was because of that coffee. So we can try a couple of things. So I have a kneaded a kneaded eraser. These are pretty cool erasers. So what I'm doing right now is just kind of, in a way, kind of cleaning it. All right, let's see what happens if we... Well, I feel like that took some of it off. Could be my imagination, but I don't think so. I think that took some of that dark color off. So I'm just gonna come back in with the iced chai. Okay, so my next decision then, because now it's kind of, I kind of like it, but I'm wondering if I need to add a little bit more of the scattered straw to the outside edge so that it gets a little bit brighter. And again, I don't remember if this has color on it or not. Okay, if it did, it was the scattered straw color. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of that. I should have left it with just the scattered straw on here and I would have been happy with it, but I couldn't leave well enough alone. But I will say this, if you don't try new things and you don't experiment, you'll stay in the same place and you'll never continue to grow and get better and learn new things that you like and don't like and that sort of thing. So occasionally you got to have some, you know, some misses to learn about new things that you might love to do. So, okay, so we can leave it as it is, or I can spritz it with water, and we can let the color do a little, you know, distressing. So part all of me feels, yeah, probably part of me feels like we've gone this far and we might as well experiment. So I've got my heat gun plugged in, and I have some paper towels, and I'm just gonna do it. Oh, I'm just gonna do it, because what have I got to lose, right? It's just a page. It's just one page of many. So this paper is not really, you know, watercolor paper. And I know that Ken shows how he draws his different images with watercolor, but I guarantee you he didn't do it in this book. So it could buckle, but hopefully I don't have to use a ton. I have this little spray bottle, and I'm just gonna spray. And I'm gonna leave it alone. Don't touch. Okay, sorry about that. The phone rang. I did not have it on airplane mode, and it shut off my camera. Anyway, so you can see everything's still wet. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to let the spray do its thing. And the way that I sprayed it, it kind of gave us a fine spray rather than a really heavy spray. So the distressing on it is very fine, not in big clumps. But I'm not going to mess with it. I think it's good. I am not unhappy with the page. I think I actually, it's growing on me. The longer I look at it, the more it's growing on me. So I'm going to probably I think I should dry it with my heat gun so it doesn't get too buckly. It doesn't have time to just sit there with water on the page. I am going to dry this little bit here. Okay, so I'm gonna dry it real quick, and then I will be right back. Alrighty, so it's all dry. It didn't buckle as bad as I thought, but then it's not like we had the paper really, really saturated. So I gotta say, it's growing on me. It really, really is. I think the addition of the water gave it just that much, you know, little bit of texture, and the color, although it's not exactly what I had planned on, I kind of like it. So I gotta say that I'll call this one a win, because I don't want to tear it out of the book, which is what happens if I really muck up a page. I wind up just taking it out of the book, and I'll keep it. I'll put a date on it and I'll tuck it away in a drawer, but I don't want to see it while it's in my book. But in this case, it's staying in the book, so that's a good thing. So thank you for hanging out with me during this process. It didn't go exactly as planned, but that's okay. So as I said, I've already got the next one in my head of what we're going to do, and we're going back to portraits again. So hopefully that'll be okay. And that's it. That's all I have to say. I'm going to stop rambling now And I'm going to just say, until I see you guys again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and happy coloring. Bye.